When I was like 3-3, they was like, who's this sneak? Talking smack in the comments. I was like, wait and see. Now we're on 4-4. They don't want to talk anymore. Fan base moving fractured. Something like a Aubameyang's jaw. When I was like 3-3, they was like, who's this sneak? Talking smack in the comments. I was like, wait and see. Now we're on 4-4. They don't want to talk anymore. Fan base moving fractured. Something like a Aubameyang's jaw. What? Bruno and Ericsson, they linked in. They stayed connected like Nokia and Ericsson. Not 1 second I second them. Them three balls they were wrecking them. Just Saturday I was telling them, this is the day of reckoning. What? Robbie Lau, somebody check on him. What?
Yo, this is the OT99 Banter Room, Old Trafford 99 Banter Room, where opinions are shared and smoke gets served. Smoke got served today. It was
repeat that. Smoke get what? Smoke get what?
I ain't saying nothing. Let me just see that. You see that passion right there? You see that passion right there? You see that badge? You see when them were talking about Anthony here, saying it was misbehaved. You know what I mean? Why would you want this type of personality at your club? Look at that. Look at that. Look at him. First to the badge. Let me show you another one. Boom. See where his hand is? You see where his hand is right there? Bruv. On that badge, bro. He's celebrating with that badge in hand. This ain't just a normal celebration, bro. Look, if Carling can make ads, this is what it will look like, bro. This is what it will look like. Man like Anthony has arrived. Debut goal. Look, as soon as that ball went to Anthony, yeah, I said, yeah, he's arrived. He's arrived. But guys, look, Edwin, how are you feeling? How are you feeling this evening?
I'm nice, man. Look, I don't want to get too carried away because, you know, it's still early. But, look, we've got to give thanks because Brentford was looking like dark days. I thought we were going back to the dark ages. But, you know, we're back in the 2022s, you know. But you know what? It was a great performance. Like, we're showing the levels. And I think one thing that I'm liking is that Man United are getting an identity on the pitch. And we're getting that fighting mentality. You know, under the Fergie, like, we'll fight to the end, and that's what we'll do. Like, he's getting that. We didn't look like we were giving up, and yeah, it was a great performance. Especially, it was a good test because we went against a team that is in good form. It wasn't like, okay, it's a new season. They were actually and still are top of the league, so it was a good test. And you know,
acid test, bro. Look, we played a team that's arguably the best form in the league. You could say top of the league, unbeaten. We went in that game, we conceded. We didn't crumble. We didn't go into our shell. We were resilient. We kept on pushing on. Like, these are key things, and it shows the level where we're at, man.
And it's first time we've won back-to-back games for a while, wasn't it, at home?
For the longest, bro. For the longest.
Man.
NK! I see you're reaching for the stars. Is that what you're thinking? Is that what Man United is, yeah? Reach for the stars. Well, how are you feeling, blood? Look, wait. NK, bring up that post, please. I should have had that post up already. Bring up that post, because we need to share that right here, right now. Right here, right now. Look, let me get it, because you sent it to me. Let me get it.
No, that's all right. I got you. I got NK. You know? My brother, look.
Look. Can you get that zoom in? What does it say? Read it out for me.
Look.
Anthony scores against Arsenal. Hold on, there's a bit of reflection there. And we win. Yeah.
I said it. If Anthony scores against Arsenal and we win, I will dye my hair and my beard blonde, bro. It's coming, bro.
Don't worry, bro. Look, by the next episode, we need to see you looking like the Ghanaian Cisco, bro. The Ghanaian Cisco.
Give it 2 weeks, bro. Give it 2 weeks. It will be done, bro.
Look, Chris, yeah. Look, Arsenal fan, he said he's deflated, you know, he's stressed. He just wants to forget about today.
You know what? Edwin said that he's going to be calm. I'm not going to be calm, bro. I'm not going to be calm. We're doing a tattoo challenge, bro. We are doing a tattoo challenge, bro. Tattoo challenge, bro.
Oh my God.
Oh, no.
But put the shackles on. You are
No,
God.
look, hey, listen to this here. Manchester United here are 3 points off the top of the table, bro. After we lost our first two games, bro.
Allow me.
No,
Look,
but in all seriousness, today I always say that today's game, was going to be a big confidence boost to whoever kind of like wins the game, because Arsenal, they won their first 5 games on top of the league. If they win that, I think their fans naturally will start believing that they can actually do something. Losing this game will start making them have doubts. With United, after the start that we had, for us to like win 3 games on a bounce, you feel like, okay, if we actually do beat Arsenal and make it 4 games, 1 on a row, it will start making the fans start kind of like believing that maybe, just maybe, things are not as bad as we thought it will be. So, and you saw what the win does today. Today, I'm just sitting there thinking like, if we can get a run put together, all this thing where we talk about maybe we might not get top 4, it can't be done, because expectation-wise, it's been very, very kind of like long, but you see what is going on, but man, slowly by slowly, I feel like we are getting what the manager wants, but man. I always say the offline, but man, and I'm saying online, but 3 in 5, but
man said
if you have stayed at Man United for 5 years, he will win 3 premiership, but man, and we are on course, but
I'm looking at our next fixture. So obviously we've got Europa League intertwined between these games, but our next Premier League fixture, Palace away. Right.
And you got Leeds, bro.
Leeds at home, and then City, but
that's a pure counter, and then Man City. So it will be great if we can go on a good,
is the City game home or away? Is the City game home or away?
City game's away. It's gonna be a mad one. It's gonna be away.
That's perfect, man. That's perfect. We do better when we go there.
Yeah, man. Look, I'm excited to watch Man United play. Obviously, we're probably gonna see us switch up the team going into Europa League now against Sociedad. Switch it up a little bit, because I feel like certain guys need to rest. We saw towards the end of that game, you see Rashford grabbing his the back of his leg, right, like his hammy, right. It was worrying me a little bit. We saw Martinez go down because he tried to do that mad acrobatic clearance, and he was holding on to his groin. Out again, worried me, man. So for me, I feel like these guys need to be wrapped up in cotton wool in this Europa League, man. Rest certain guys, man, and let them recover for these next games against Crystal Palace. But look, let's get into this game. Look, the lineup came out. Casemiro benched again. Ronaldo benched again. Can we safely say that our starting lineup, going forward for the rest of the season, our first team, Eric Ten Hag's first team, is what we saw today, in it being Rashford, Anthony, surprisingly he came on, Sancho, and then the midfield as it is with Scott McTominay holding the fort, and the fullbacks and the centre backs. So what's your thoughts?
I feel like he's getting close to what do you call it? His first 11. I think the back 5 now is more like settled now with the back 5. I think if everybody is fit, that's the back 5 that he goes with too. The midfield too. I don't know. You know what? You feel like Casemiro on paper is better than McTominay, but one thing I like about the manager that he's doing is that if you play well, you stay in the team. He's not doing it by name and everything. McTominay has been playing well in the last 3 games, so it was fair for him to start today. Elanga, you've seen for the last few games that he was like, you could see that like quality-wise, he was a bit kind of like short. Anthony coming in today, you can see the difference too, but I don't know. I think he's getting close to his first 11 too, but there's also place for competition too. And one thing that a lot of this kind of like players on the bench, you can just see that, there's an opportunity for me. If I come into the team and then I play well, I can stay in the team too, because you've seen that the manager clearly is not playing by name or by favoritism, man. He's just literally playing it purely by you do good, you stay, and the rest of you will need to work harder in training to take off your spot. And until someone does that, you stay in the team. And I love that kind of like message, but man, I love, because a few weeks back, we used to cry that everybody will come inside, play good, and then be gone back onto the bench, but man. But now it's not the case, man. It's not the case. It's like everybody needs to fight to get into the team, but man, and it goes to every player, man. So yeah.
Edwin, what's your thoughts on what NK said? Because we had some discussions offline about Eric Ten Hag's team selection, and obviously we was happy about Anthony starting, but then we said, he hasn't you know, then we're like, you know, but how come he's not playing, you know, Ronaldo, or why is he not playing Casemiro? And like, what's going on there? Like, what's happening? What's your thoughts on why he's not playing Casemiro?
I think, like we said in the beginning, I thought Casemiro was going to start this game. I think even though McTominay's been playing well, I'm still not convinced with him. Me personally. As
a gender man, gender settings, bro.
I ain't gonna lie. Over the last, I think it's not like he's been giving man a 90-minute performance like throughout the game, but I would say he's playing some of the best football.
Edwin, explain yourself, man.
No. As I said to Firma, right? I feel like big games call for big players, and even though McTominay's played well, remember I told you the scary thing about him is he's too rash, and he was doing it this game. He just rushes in. He doesn't think. He's not smart enough to do professional fouls. Everything has to. Even when he got the yellow card, why are you grabbing and throwing him down like that? You could have done it in a way.
Edwin, quick question though. When Casemiro came on, when Casemiro came on, what was the first thing he did, bro, man? Oh, he misplaced a pass, bro.
I know, but the thing is, it's always difficult to come on and try and impact unless you're one of them superstar players, especially in that position. You know what I mean? Because you're more vulnerable playing in defense and centre midfield to give away. But look, as I said to Firma, I was shocked. But as I said to him, if it works, it works, and it worked. You know what I mean? Like the team worked. I think what he's done well, he's got the balance. He's found the balance in midfield. He's found the balance in defense, and he's sort of starting to find the balance in attack. You know, when Martial comes in, there's going to be a question of how he gets involved as well, because he's a bit different from Rashford in terms of technicalities. Like, he can hold up the ball, he can bring players in. He's probably better with the ball at his feet, and probably maybe a better finisher as well. But look, the team's playing well. The selection, I think, like, he's just gone with that approach. If you're playing well and it's working, let me start. So I think the shock thing is Anthony, because like in his interviews, he's always said, look, if the player's not fit, you know, we won't rush them in. But like, I think I've been saying already, Elanga's not, I don't want to say he's not good enough, but he's missing that little bit, you know, that extra bit of quality. Because I number one, I don't see him scoring. He's not been scoring a lot, and he doesn't have that thing where he can just get past players.
That extra bit of quality, isn't it?
Yeah, or that even, it's different if he had that one pass in him or he was finishing, but he's missing that. So I think it was better for him what he done. Play Anthony and just take him off early. You know what I mean?
And also on that point too, yeah. One thing I realized with Anthony today too, in terms of like compared to like Elanga too, yeah. You know, as a winger, sometimes you need to know when to make certain decisions. Today with Anthony, I didn't see him all the time trying to take on the fullback. Sometimes he just get it, literally come back, and then just literally like pass the simple path, man. Because because sometimes you just need to know when to say when. Well, as you saw with like Elanga, and even at times too, our wingers too, with even Rashford, is that they always feel like they have to take on the defenders. You know, sometimes just keep it simple, Papa man. Just keep it simple, move about, and that's what he done today. He showed more intelligent. I wouldn't even say about. It wasn't even more about ability between him and Elanga. It was more about intelligence and decision making. That's what I would call it, man.
And like you say, and the little thing that's he's got over Elanga as well. Not only does he understand the system, he's defending, because the times he did get back, like, and it's weird. Have you realized with Ten Hag's Ajax players, they get so amped up when they like, you see Martinez, he gets amped up. Even Anthony, when he was like getting the tackles and then winning the throws, like you can see he's hungry. Like he was running back, and he's quite effective because he's effective going forward. And even though he's a very flary player, he does the defensive role as well, which I think Elanga lacks as well. You know what I mean?
I think he's
a bit stronger. He's a bit stronger on the ball as well than Elanga as well.
He's got a bit of that ruggedness. I think
they're not too far in age as well.
Young bro, this could be the future for us for a very long time, man. He gets down with the defending, and he's also he's got that flair, man, going forward. Like, I've been screaming, you know, we need someone like Saint Maximin. Yeah, he's got that bit of predictability in terms of like wanting to cut in and shoot, which we saw today. But where his unpredictability comes into it is where you don't know how he's going to dribble out of these tight situations. Like, you see him getting, you know, one-on-ones, double up. He'll pull out a skill and get out of the mad tricky situation. And that is the difference between someone like Anthony and someone like Elanga. And this is why we need Anthony in this team. Look, I've been crying out for St. Maximin. He's given me the flair and the dribble skill of St. Maximin, but he's also got that end product finish. I know it can be improved on, his numbers can be built on, but he's young. He's in a team where he's going to be getting a lot of guidance support. He's got veterans all around him. Look, this guy's game can only improve. We saw how he tucked away that finish. Henry-esque. You get me? Slotted it in, cut in, boom, left foot. It was beautiful. You understand? And Anthony's one of them ones where he's a fixed name on the team sheet for me. And I know I'm getting carried away. I've only seen him for a little bit, 60 minutes or whatever. But for me, look, there's Elanga and then there's Anthony. Do you understand? And I feel like there's a gulf in talent, man, especially from what we saw in Ajax. But look, let's move forward from the defense and then we'll get into the forward bit. So look, what impressed me about the defense, yeah? One, I have to give a special shout out to Delo, man. Delo was almost taken like, Malacia is just like, okay, Erik ten Hag scouted him, you know what he can do. Malacia's coming to the league and is doing what he thought he could do. Martinez, same thing. Varane, we knew that he was a Rolls Royce. This Delo, we went seasons with Delo, yeah, Mourinho brought him in, where we was just like, this guy's looking timid, he's looking like he's not attacking well. Look, as soon as Martinez came into this fold, Malacia came into this fold, it's like he's got some sort of virus, bro, of just aggressiveness. Like you see him just getting gaps, amped to the defender.
You know
it's sick.
But you know what it is as well, is the comparison of this, right? Not to go to, if you're going to war, right, and you had someone you were unsure about, you're not going to really feel confident. He's going to war now with people he feels safe with, so he knows they've got their back. When he looks at the centre back pairing, and even Malacia, he's like, I can trust these players. I think there was an uncertainty of who he was playing with, so we didn't really see him want to be that expressive, because it's like, if I do something crazy, like I ain't got the right backup. Now he's got a firm foundation. You see him being a bit more expressive, a bit more free, and he seems to be playing not with so much freedom, just with the weight lifted off him. I could just be my player about everything. So I think just the certainty and the form of the back has really supported him, and his confidence, because like, let's be honest, a lot of it is confidence with these footballers. Talent wise, you know, they're at a level where they must have talent because they've made it there, right? But then it's like, next, the confidence will help with your form, and I think now he's got the confidence, it's helping with his form, you know what I mean? And I think as a unit together, they're doing well. Like, because let's be honest, Arsenal are not an easy team to play against. They have those wingers that will cut in. They'll play they've got players that will slot balls in. So
Jesus, Martinelli and Saka grew into that game. He grew into it, but that Jesus,
even Odegaard was doing it all.
He split the defense open, man.
Yeah, so I feel like the defense is showing again, even though we conceded a goal. This, like NK was saying, he's getting close to his team. I think this is his defense.
Yes, it has to be.
Yeah. With the law, you know what? I remember when we done the end of season show, and then you asked me who do you think is going to be the most improved player for next season. I said the law because I knew. Yeah, I said it because I knew that.
I ain't gonna lie.
You know what? Do you know what's funny though? When I said that, I was saying that more because of like the way in which he played, like attackingly, but in the last few games, it's not even his attacking thing that has been impressive. It's the defensive side, which to me, I'm very surprised by that. You know, I've heard that he's been doing a lot of like working out with Ronaldo's, where he's improving his leg too. But one thing too that you always see too is that for a very long time we talk about the organization of the team. You see how our fullbacks kind of like defend. When you do it, you always show the winger to their weaker foot. But at time and time again, because we didn't really like, our DMs were not proper like sitting, it made the winger could have kind of like cut in or go anywhere because the fullback didn't have protection. So now that they got protection, they can just show them to exactly where they will have the advantage. And even if they cut in, there's like players they're blocking the way too. So yes, he's defending good one-on-one too, but I think as a team, as a collective to McTominay and Eriksen, they're working really, really hard to kind of like stay in spaces that don't allow the wingers to kind of like cut in and just kind of like enjoy that too. So I think our overall team-wise, they've been doing good. Even today, Malacia, for example, too. I feel like at times he struggled a little bit with Saka, but second half he kind of like came back into the game and kind of like grew into it.
He kept going.
Yeah, he need to start doing his homework on some of the wingers because I think today he made a mistake that he didn't feel like Saka could go both in and out, but he saw that Saka could do that. Yeah, and I think after some time, that's when he kind of like worked him out. So going forward, he need to do more research on the wingers, but so far, man, the defense is looking good, man.
It was a good battle with the fullbacks. I feel like Malacia was struggling again with Saka in the beginning, but then he started to grow into it. He started to work things out, like you said, and he started to become more sure of himself, and he started to have a better game. With the low, again, Martinelli was horrid. It was terrible. But what I liked about Delo as well, he grew into it. You know what I mean? He grew into that game. He was becoming more aggressive, defensive. Do you know what I mean? And Anthony was also acknowledging that danger instead of it being in a pass where these guys are just left by themselves. Anthony, I see him running back, joining in, doubling up. Do you know what I mean? On these guys and making it difficult for them to get through. But one other thing I have to give a big shout out to these defenders about, especially Martinez, is Gabriel Jesus and Martinelli are tricky guys in that box. They got nimble feet. And there was at least 2-3 moments here when these men were in a box here in the penalty area, and I was like, oh my days, don't give away a penalty. Don't give away a penalty. Don't give away a penalty. And these guys, I saw Martinez pull out of a challenge, you know what I mean? He's got the aggressive nature, but he pulled out of it, and I'm telling you, if that was Eric
Bailly, because friends, you were very worried about him giving like silly penalties.
Bro, I was worried. Like, if that was Eric Bailly, as much as we love his aggressiveness and his heroic displays, that game, I'm sure he would have given away a penny. Maguire 100% would have given away a penny. Do you know what I mean? Look, you already saw.
On that point, we're talking about the defense. Yeah. Let me just say, Maguire, you've been missing for 3 games. Please. If you ever see this, it's never personal. It's just an analysis of a fan, right? Think about it, yeah. The scary thing now is that there's the defenders there, and the drop we saw when Maguire came on is too much. Like, Maguire, as soon as he came on, yellow card. Then he potentially could have given away a penalty. Nketiah. He does this thing where he thinks he's smarter than he is. He throws his body into the players. Like, how the player was running to him, he backs off, then he pushes him. Yeah, like, I was thinking, like, you've been sitting on the bench, like, have you
yellow
not been
card
learning anything?
In how many minutes? Like, it felt like as soon as he came on yellow card.
But then too, with in Maguire defense too, a lot of the guys are a bit rusty too.
There's no defense, bro. Nah.
Bro,
There's no defense.
No, but you know what? Yeah.
I don't want to hear that, bro.
Man's hired NK as he's soliciting.
No. But
he's got NK on the payroll.
You look at
the two centre backs that we got. The two centre backs we got with Varane and Martinez here. They can be very, very aggressive too. And one thing I like about him, like they know when to be silly and when not to be. You see them after the penalty areas, they will kick and take the yellow card. When it's in a penalty area, it's more kind of like control, kind of like aggression, where they are being smart about that. Maguire can never be an aggressive centre backs, and that's why you see, because he doesn't have the recovery and the pace. Anytime he commit like that, just a little bit turn and then he's out of it. You saw that by the yellow card that he took. He tried to be aggressive, and then that's it. So it's something that, look, this season at times is going to come in, but in future, as they build on and as we clear players inside, we're going to see us having more centre backs that kind of like going to be aggressive, kind of like coming into. But in terms of both of them too, again, very intelligent, very leadership too. We talk about Delo and the fullback being able to like do well too. It comes down to the communication that they get from both centre backs, because I play as a fullback, and when you play as a fullback, your centre backs always have to be communicating with you, telling you when to tell you to drop, and anytime you always see them telling you all the time, come in. And you've seen that with Delo too. Varane playing on the right hand side too, I think has very, very much kind of like calm him down instead of like telling him what to do, man.
You know what? On NK's point, he's right, because I don't know if you saw it. I was watching little things, and if you watch Varane, he's the one that tells them to push up. Like, if you watch it, like when they're attacking, he'll look at the lot and he'll look at things. He's like, he'll tell, like he takes that leadership role, especially with the lot. He'll be like, push up. So, like you say, I think the communication, and that's little things I never really saw in Maguire. He never really communicated with the back. He never, especially being a captain. He never be like, push up, do this. Even when they get tackles, like, have you seen there's a difference? Like, they don't celebrate like how they celebrate. They've actually a unit. Like when when they block something, they're all like giving each other a high five, like
You
cheering
can
each
tell.
other.
You can tell that they're basically saying to the world, to the fan base, "This is who I want to be playing with week in, week
Yeah.
out." Like they're basically saying that without saying it. Do you know what I mean? Do you know what's another great thing about us these last few games is we're not sitting there talking about. Look, Arsenal is an extremely attacking team. Do you know what I mean? They're on good vein of form attacking wise. Look, Man United are not sitting there talking about how the heroics of David De Gea. David De Gea made it earlier, like a little save at his near post earlier on. But to be honest, he hasn't really been troubled.
And the header from
And the header, yes, and the header.
Who is it? Martinelli? Or? Remember
Yeah,
the one that,
yeah.
Remember
the one that went
header.
over Bruno? It went over Bruno.
I remember.
Yeah, I remember that header. I
It's
remember
like,
that header.
we're not here talking. Look, back in the days last season, we're talking about 6-7
Yeah,
heroics
it's true.
from David De
It's
Gea.
true.
We haven't talked about this guy's mad. Yeah, he's been making saves. That's what he does. He's a shot stopper. But look, how many of those saves he's making? It's testament to how this defense and midfield is even set up. But do you know what?
Yeah.
Go on, okay.
No. What I was gonna say that I feel like, you know what, with that, that's where tactically I think the manager he got spot on, because if you look at the whole kind of like game, Arsenal didn't really trouble us except for the second half when they had that kind of like 5-10 minute spell where we got a bit kind of like shaky. Apart from that,
No,
we
in
actually had a
the
very
first
comfortable
half,
day.
yeah, they were in the first half. It felt like it was pure pressure from Arsenal, but like when you watch these games back, you're like, okay, it was a lot of pressure. But then when you deep it, you look at the defense and me like, overall, they're doing what they need to be doing. They're getting things under control. It's just like the Leicester game, just like the Southampton game. When you watch it back, you're just like, they actually kind of had things under control. But in the moment, you're thinking, look, Man United was getting peppered. It's just that we had a really good defense that was managing to stand that.
Do you think their goal that got disallowed was a foul?
Do you know what? Yeah, in another game, someone could have given that. Do you know what I mean? Someone could have given that in another game, and that's the thing. Like for me, obviously I'm a Man United fan. I'm gonna say it's biased. He didn't touch the ball. He made contact. Our man went down. But in another game, look, the reason why I was looking at that for so long is thinking, is it excessive? Is it enough force? You know what I mean? That's how they view it. These days. Is it enough?
I feel like it was.
Go on, Edwin. Go on.
No, I was saying I think it was a foul. But do you know what? I think it could go either way, right? But I think if that didn't lead to a goal, he might have just left it. But because it led to a goal, is the question of how
true.
vocal was that? Because he literally like you say, he did push him, but it's like I think general play he could have given it away because it led to a goal. It's just like he had to go and look at it again. It's like, okay, cool. Like,
he was only taking too long to kind of like do it because he knew he messed up. He knew he messed up because all games he was giving those type of like stuff as a foul. Anytime Veron went in strong against Jesus, he always gave it as a foul. And to be honest with you, I think the referee, he was out of his depth today. Like, I don't think he had a great game at all, but man. So it is what it is. But to me, it was a clear foul, man. It was a clear. Even if you watch the goal that we scored, he actually gave an advantage because we had a foul and he gave it an advantage to kind of like play on, which was kind of like similar to the goal that Arsenal scored, but then it just like the other way around where they fouled us back, man. But I think it was the right call, man. Thank God for VAR, man, because that was
a
very,
controversial
very bad,
one. It's a controversial point. You'll definitely have Arsenal fans saying we were hard done by. You know what? For me, look.
Nah, that was a foul, but they cannot. But the thing is, if you go, look. He never won the ball. He never won the ball, bruv. If you won the ball, then you can say, bruv, he never won the ball at all. Not, bruv. All day long, it's a foul, bruv. All day long,
Edwin.
it's a foul,
Let's. We're gonna move on to
I was
the matches very soon. But go on.
I was just gonna quickly move on to midfield because just time.
Yeah. That's what I wanted to move on. Go on.
I was just gonna say, like, I think, although I would have liked to see Casemiro came in, I think like Tommy done the job. There's right balance. But what I'm liking a lot is that we talk a lot about the pairing between Varane and Martinez. But I'm starting to like the bond between Bruno and Eriksen.
Yes, he hit the nail.
What I've seen is that Eriksen's dropped deep, and a lot of people are like, why is Eriksen dropping deep? But he's dropping deep, and he's doing the little things that we'll miss in the midfield. Just neat passes, picking up the ball, giving the energy. And then it's helping Bruno now because Bruno, and I think NK said this with Pogba time ago, is that Bruno needs a good midfielder to play with to be effective. Like, you know, there was never a link between the midfield and Bruno before. Now, look at the 2 goals we scored. Eriksen picks up the ball first one, passes it into Bruno. Bruno gets tackled, kind of passes it to Thingy. Second one,
Eriksen to Bruno. Eriksen to Bruno again, and then Bruno goes on to Figo. He's not necessarily.
No, but even the other goal for
the first one, it was the first one. It was Eriksen to Bruno. Second one, Eriksen to Bruno,
and then the third one was Bruno to Eriksen.
And then the third one was Bruno to Eriksen before again, like it went on. And the thing is, right, is this. Just
that's
from what you were saying,
that's
why you're liking them. And I was gonna say the same thing, because before, when Bruno's on this pitch, who is he looking for? The attacker straight forward, doing crazy passes, by skipping the midfield, trying to do the Hollywood pass to the forwards, Ronaldo, whoever it is. Now he's looking at Eriksen saying, I trust you. I'm looking for you. Eriksen, I'm looking for you. And vice versa, Bruno and Eriksen, they're looking for each other. And that connection there, bro, is
I'm liking that, because
good to see, man.
If you realise now, Bruno is not doing what he used to do when he just drops back for no reason, just to collect the ball, just to touch it. He's actually like, I can trust this. Like, Eriksen is going to do that job. I can be more in the attack, in the final third, or closer to the middle. Like, remember before, he always used to drop to pick up the ball, then try and do some long ball, try and play with the ball too much and lose the ball in key areas. He's high, even if he leaves the ball high up, there's still a lot of work to do. So I'm liking the fact that him and Eriksen are getting an understanding of where they are on the pitch.
NK, what's your thoughts on that?
Team.
You know what? Honestly, I need to watch the game back to kind of like see that kind of like understanding that you guys are talking about, because I don't know, but from watching our last with the second half, for example, it was kind of like we were playing more on a counter-attack situation, which is not going to be the case all the time, where you have so much kind of like space for those kind of like passes too. So I need to kind of like go watch it back and see the kind of like understanding. But today, you know what, Bruno, that's one thing that Bruno does. He likes to play the ball quickly too. And then today, when he got a chance, he literally just like put it in there straight away. But Eriksen is very key, very, very key to our team. He's like the playmaker that collect the ball from the defense and then start the attacking move and everything. So he's very key to the team. So I don't know, but all in all, there's chemistry building all parts of the pitch, man, which is very good. The chemistries are kind of like building between the wingers, fullbacks, and everyone.
It's what Eriksen worried me.
You know, Football Manager, when they've got the little green line.
Oh yeah, the strong green line. But Eriksen, he lost the ball earlier on. I think Odegaard robbed him off that ball, and it led to an opportunity, right? And I was just like,
it was a foul.
It was a foul, that led. But look, at the end of the day, it gave me flashbacks, of what Brentford, when Ivan Toney stole the ball off Eriksen as well. He had his back to
passing the goalkeeper.
He had his back to the people. He had his back to the players. He needs. My thing about Eriksen is he needs to be aware. He needs to be aware of his surroundings. He took long, dilly-dallied on the ball, and it got stolen off him. Yeah, lucky we got that foul. But in another situation, it may not have been a foul. He needs. That tempo was quick, fast. He just needs to be aware, be on his toes, be on his 10 toes, because we may not have an opportunity where we get that luck. But let's move on, because we've got like 5 minutes now. Let's move on to the man of the match. NK, who's your man of the match, man?
You want to quickly talk about the attack then, quick?
Nah, we talked about Anthony, bro. Rashford, to be fair though, Rashford put in a shift. I rate him. He got the goals as well. So that's disrespectful. Let's talk about Rashford, to be fair. We talked about Anthony already.
I'm gonna start off with the man of the match and give it to Rashford, and obviously touch on that too. But man, you know what? Because people kind of question whether he can play as a striker or not, which include myself anyways too. But he's been working. He's been working very, very hard. That first goal too, the way he played in that assist, that was very, very kind of like sweet too. Yeah. And the second half, he worked hard for the team. The first half, in terms of like when we had the ball, trying to pass it, it's not his strong suit, kind of like playing with his back to goal. So he struggled with that. But once he worked hard for the team, and then we opened him up with one goal, then he can enjoy himself when he went onto the left hand side too. And that's what he needs to kind of like keep on doing. Today, 2 goals, an assist. You know what? He deserved it too. You know, he really, really deserved it. That's two straight home games that he scored, but man, so big confidence boost.
And it's a lot of pressure when you're running on the goalkeeper one-on-one.
Right, the finish.
And he's done that twice.
Both times he has had one-on-ones here. In my head, I've always felt like he missed it, and he's actually started to kind of like score. So it's a big confidence boost for him. and the fans too are starting to kind of like believe that maybe, just maybe, Rashford is getting back to the Rashford that we all thought he could be.
Edwin, man of the match.
You know what?
Make it snappy.
I'll keep it quick. When I think I spoke to you before, I was more leaning between Bruno and more Eriksen, but with Bruno honourable. But like, listening to NK, I think as much as he's got so much stick about his form, we've got to give Rashford his flowers, because as much as we get onto him about his performance, look, he got 2 goals and 2 assists, and like you're saying, remember before when we talked about season, he's got an assist and got 2 goals, right? And then we remember when we were talking about, I'll make it quick, Rashford, we were like, he goes disappearing. Remember, he would disappear in games. We're like, we didn't even know Rashford was playing, but he was there to pass to Anthony. He made sure he kept up for his final goal for Eriksen to pass to him. He made sure he was onside for the through ball and tucked it away. So yeah, I'll give it to Rashford, but honourable mention to Bruno and Eriksen, because their work created the goals as well. And we go shout out to Anthony, debut goal as well.
Jeez, look, you covered basically a lot of what I was going to say. Look, you cannot not give it to Rashford. 2 goals and an assist with all of that stress that has been on his shoulders. He's now gradually starting to grow into the game. Look, we was all talking about like Rashford, he's got to be gold sold. Do you know what I mean? PSG, just not too long ago, coming from, we were like, let's sell him, let's cash in. Manchester United now are having food for thought. Now we're thinking, should we? We went from him being sold to maybe he could work out in a team, to him maybe being able to force his way into the team and be a starter. He already is a starter, but do you know what I mean? Like, we actually want him to be here, which is a big thing. And like you said, shout out to
I was laughing. I actually thought NK was going to say Ted Hag,
No. You know what?
His subs were solid though. Like, yeah.
You know what? With Rashford, No, with Rashford, we complained last season about
1 minute NK.
Kind of get tired and everything, but he's actually getting better as the game get into the later stages, man. So impressive, man. But yeah, 1 hug, 2 hugs, 3 hugs, 10 hugs.
Look, I'm gassed.
Like, even as fans, man, like, we're happy to see this, because like we grew up on Man United doing well, so it's good to see. And I think one thing we're getting, like I said, we're getting an identity. We're getting away. We'll be playing football. And the good thing is that they're starting to believe in his philosophy of playing the way he wants to play. You know what I mean? Which is good. But yeah, man, look, we think about it, even though we've lost to those 2 teams, we had 2 big wins. We beat Liverpool and Arsenal. Those are not easy teams to beat.
Of course, it's not. Arsenal next game went and won 9-0, brother.
No, Liverpool.
Sorry. Look, let's wrap it up though. It's done. Time's done. Look, guys, remember to like, comment, and subscribe. This was an enjoyable video. An enjoyable one. Have you ever had I've
got a shout out though before we go. Shout out to the Arsenal fans that were supposed to join today.
Hated
to politic with us, and they ran.
All them fans hiding. Look, the smoke is coming. They're
hiding like their manager, their team, buffs.
Hiding, bro. Hiding. Look, remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Peace. OT 99. Cheers.